Peace and love, you guys. Big House right here from Buckle Up. And man, oh man, we are living definitely weird times and crazy times, but I don't want Buckle Up to stop just simply because I can't pick up my guest anymore. So I am introducing to you Buckle Up Lockdown, and it's gonna happen, via online. I'm home, they're home, and it's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be really cool. This is the first episode. Keep it locked. Let's go. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Peace and love and hello. Welcome to Buckle Up, but with a different flavor this time. Usually I'm in the car and, my lovely guests are sitting behind me, next to me actually. And, we have a really cool chat as we drive around. With everything that's going on right now, with the quarantine and the COVID-19, I didn't want this whole thing movement to stop. So I launched, obviously, a Buckle Up, lockdown edition. And man, oh man. This guy is truly important to our culture. I want to say that first. A truly humble, human being, somebody who is very, very, I think, talented, and somebody, I'll say it, yes, somebody that deserves even more recognition, in my own opinion. The one and only, ladies and gentlemen, KicksTQ. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. How are you?
Salam, marhaba, all is well, man. Pleasure to be speaking to you, man. Finally got this done. I know it's just the intro to what's gonna happen soon, inshallah, but blessings, man.
Inshallah, blessings and peace, man. Before we start, and usually I ask my guest, are you ready to buckle up? And then we actually buckle up. So I want you to do the notion of when I ask you, are you ready to buckle up? We're gonna do this right now, and you say yes, and you just do this. All right. Okay. So are you ready to buckle up?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Let's go. All right. Strapped. Ya Allah, man. Quarantine made us do different things. Before I get into it, man, how you doing? How is everything? How is your mental, physical, being?
Good, man. I mean, I think all of us didn't really see this coming so fast, and it just escalated really quickly. In terms of work, I have a day job, so that just it really took a toll on everyone. People had to stop coming to the office. I work in oil and gas, so most of our work is actually from. So we were just pretty stressed out. But we have these virtual meetings every week, and I was just I was on the phone with my team yesterday, and it's to put things into perspective. If I were to compare yesterday's call to the call we had 2 weeks ago, I mean, I wouldn't say things are streamlined, but we're evolving, we're adapting. I'm out here, pretty far from the city. I'm with my family. I try to take it day by day. I always look at the silver lining, man.
Bless, man.
Something good has to come out of it, man.
Yeah, man. Sure it's definitely a crazy time and weird times. Well. And I just want to shout out all the, obviously creative heads, freelancers, singers. These guys had their kind of work, stream cut off in one night. All of a sudden, khalas, done. So blessings and peace to everybody. All right. Man, I'm just excited. I'm trying to be a fan and also an interviewer. I'm really excited. So I try to get something out of the way. Is it true that your favorite kicks are Air Jordan 1? Red? This is a khalas official?
Definitely, man. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, not even nothing even comes close to that shoe for me. So yeah,
why, if I may ask, what is it?
Well, first of all, I grew up idolizing Michael Jordan. I love basketball. It's because of Michael Jordan I actually got into sneakers. So it's his first shoe, and the story behind the Bread One, it's crazy. It was the first shoe in the NBA that wasn't the same color as the other players' uniforms. So it disrupted the whole game. Nike had to pay a penalty every game just for Jordan to wear them, and just that story behind it, man, it's just changed the game. Yeah.
Wow.
And I love the colorway, man. Black and red. It's a timeless silhouette. I love that shoe.
Wow. Okay. Obviously, T, you started your journey in 2014. I'm interested to know what made you fall in love with sneaker and fashion. Anyway, how did it all start for you? I know you were collecting since 2004, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, it really all goes back to basketball, man. Like
101, man. What 101? Me and you. I see you and Sons of Yusuf playing, and I kind of get jealous. I need,
Yeah, bro. It's it all started from that, man. Like, I grew up in Kuwait, but we weren't really exposed. This is the 90s. We weren't really exposed to like back then. Other cultures. The Instagram wasn't around. The internet wasn't like popping. So we moved to Singapore during the Ghazoo, Gulf War, and I went to an international school. So for the first time, I was exposed to Westerners, Asian people, just people from all around the world. And the coolest kids at school were the skaters, the skateboarders, right?
Shout out to the skaters.
I wanted to be a skateboarder. I went out, bought a skateboard. Man, I couldn't, can I curse? I couldn't skate for shit. It was really, really bad. So I gave that up. And then I saw the next coolest kids at school were the ballers, right? The basketball players. So I went out, begged my mom to buy me a pair of Air Jordan 5s. I wore those to school, to birthday parties, on the court. With kicks, you have to match that with like a fresh fit, right? So that's when I started to like get into like streetwear and other like fashion, and the whole thing really comes down to the game of basketball, man, and obviously hip hop music.
We're definitely gonna talk about that. How tall are you? 6'1"?
I'm 6'1", yeah.
6'1".
187, I believe.
MashaAllah. Taib, this is a very, I excuse my ignorance when it comes to this. I am a hip hop head. I am somebody who loves hip hop culture. But sneaker, I'm not claiming, I love it, but I'm not, into in it. Is there a sneaker industry in Arabia? And again, excuse my kind of ignorance with that question.
You mean a market for it, or like a
market? I'm sure there is, but is there would you call it an industry? Like, is there somebody that's making sneakers in Arabia? If that's right?
I mean, the manufacturing of sneakers, not
really
within, not really. I mean, you do have designers within the region who do make their own designs, but as in like an actual sneaker brand coming out of this area.
No, we can say no. What's stopping from having, and do you think it will ever happen? Like, let's say we're looking like in the next 10, 15 years. Do you think that's a possibility? Or because obviously when sneaker culture started, I do believe, and we're going to talk about this, it's also associated with a little bit of hip hop, the graffiti, the urban scene, how they took it from, obviously the playgrounds to fashion, and the runways. But do you think we will ever have one? Is it us?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's only a matter of time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It has to happen sooner or later, man.
That's amazing to hear from you, because again, everything about this, obviously, this incredible phenomena, and for you to say that's amazing, and you're going to be definitely at the front line of that. When do you think it will happen, and how, and what? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, the way I see it is, if a brand, like an actual clothing brand, can pop off here in the region, why can't a sneaker brand? I mean, the supply chain is more or less the same, like with the raw material, the manufacturing. It's just a matter of the concept and the resources you have to put into it. So definitely see it happening. I can't really put a timeline to it, but it's happening.
Okay.
Why it hasn't happened? I just feel, man, like Nike, Adidas, Puma, all these super brands are just like dominating the game, man. It's a matter of someone coming in and saying, yo, this is my vision. I want to be the next Nike. I don't care how I do it. I don't care if it takes me 100 years, but let's get this done.
Let's go. I love that. Okay. This is a story. I mean, a question that I've always, I related to it, and you proved that you have it within you. Do some of your sneakers have a story, like, that you could share with us? Like, it's a sneaker that actually have a story. Like, you know, a sneaker that actually have a story. Like, you know, a sneaker that actually have a story. Like, you know, a sneaker that actually have a story. Do some of your sneakers have a story, like, that you could share with us? Like, you know, it's a sneaker that actually have a story. Like, you know, a sneaker that actually have a story. And I know, I don't know, you get asked this a lot. What you own how many pairs right now? 700 plus? Like, I'm not sure. I don't know.
700 plus.
Okay,
Pushing
Mashallah.
900. Yeah,
Mashallah.
yeah.
So do some of the sneakers have a story, and maybe you can share one story with us?
Yeah, man, I got tons of stories, man. Like, pick a good one.
Isn't it crazy that sneakers have a story, you guys? Just listening to this, I can't wait. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So I'm gonna start with the shoe I mentioned earlier. It's the Air Jordan 5 Stealth. So that's the first pair of Air Jordans I owned. The ones I told my mom, I begged my mom, yo, I need to buy these shoes. Those shoes I wore literally, man, until the soles like tore off. I had to take him to a guy who fixes shoes, and then he had to like fix them, and then they kept tearing off. Like, that's how much I love those shoes.
What's your size? What's your shoe size?
I'm a size 12 US, but okay. I was a kid back then. You know,
wow.
I was in like third grade maybe, but that's how much I love those shoes. My first pair of Jordans. Now, fast forward 2016, after this whole Instagram influencer thing happened, I finally get a call from Nike in Dubai, and I did a project with them. It was a dream come true at SoulDXB actually, and you know, it was just around the time like influencers started to get free stuff like seating and like free kicks and free clothes and whatever. So they seeded me my first pair of Nikes. Like I actually got a pair of free shoes from a brand like Nike.
Wow.
Which shoe?
Don't tell me that 5.
It was the Air Jordan 5 Stealth. They retroed it. So like
goosebumps.
Like, yo, I don't know if that's not full circle, man. Like I don't know what I have a post dedicated to that, man. It was like I opened that box. I'm just like, man, like. Yeah,
they did their work maybe or something like that. They did their homework or something.
I don't know, man.
Right.
Very possible. And
Subhanallah.
My first pair of sneakers. Yeah.
Wow.
Insane, man.
That's amazing. Any other story? Because I'm really interested to know, like, in terms of like sneakers and the fact that they have a story. I was actually just talking to my wife about it, and she told me, for example, the first time that she bought a sneaker like that, we were in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, in a very old souk. You know, we call it actually the Filipino souk because there's a lot of brothers and sisters from the Philippines that buy from there, and all the owners of the shops are from the Philippines. And and it's funny the stories that go behind each and every pair of sneakers that you buy. It's for example, in my case, I have I think 5 pairs or something like that. A guy and midgets comparing to you, but it's incredible. Is there any other story that you can share with us? For example, do people, for example, change perception about you as a human being based on what you wear as sneakers? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, I mean.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like these days, it's kind of like the same, the way, if you're wearing a nice watch, people look at you in a different way. Now it's kind of like with sneakers, if a guy knows that, a pair that you're wearing is worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
He's gonna treat you with some respect, but he has to be a sneakerhead as well.
Yes.
But I mean, it really depends on the kind of person you are, man.
It's crazy.
It's like the car you drive,
Yeah. Which actually brings me to my next question. What makes someone a sneakerhead? Like, is it collecting? Is it knowledge? What is it?
Yeah, it's really the stories, actually. Like if the storytelling of your collection, it's the history that goes into each shoe that you should appreciate. A sneakerhead to me doesn't necessarily have to wear his shoes. Like I have pairs in my closet that I will never wear, but I love the story behind them. I love the blood, sweat, and tears that designer actually went in and said, yo, I'm inspired by this. I'm going to make it look like that to me, that's art, man. And I think a real.
But do you think people actually appreciate that? What you just said right now? Do you think people really care and appreciate?
No, man. This generation, I mean, I'm just like, probably not. But then, I always tell myself this: if I was 16, 17, would I really appreciate that? As an older head, I do. A sneakerhead these days can be defined in many ways. I'm like an OG sneakerhead, but like, a younger 18-year-old sneakerhead would be a guy who buys hundreds of shoes, probably resells a lot of them, and flexes, but technically, he loves sneakers.
Interesting. So do you need to have a certain amount of pair to be a sneakerhead, or can you be like a sneakerhead with having one pair?
If I were to put a number, like a sneakerhead, like a minimum, I would say you have to have at least 50 pairs to be a sneakerhead.
Okay, makes sense.
But then, you still love sneakers and not have sneakers. Of course, like,
like for example, one of my favorite, people growing up and people who like I idolized was Bobbito, and I know he, from Stretch and Bobbito, radio show. And I know he's into basketball, he's into sneaker, and so that, which brings me to my next thing. In 1985, man, Run DMC, and when I met DMC was telling me the story, they released my Adidas. They had over 16,000 fans and people, and maybe we'll put the video right here, where they're holding up their Adidas and he's screaming, "It's my Adidas." As KicksTQ, do you think this was monumental in history of sneakers? This moment?
Of course, man. I mean, that alongside the signature shoe for Jordan, I think those two things side by side, from an athlete standpoint, who were superstars in their own right, and how that transcended into hip hop. Huge I think you're right. In 1984, this is where I think the Jordan Air Jordan 1 kind of came through. This is what NBA did, and then 86 or so, 85, 86, the Adidas thing. But when I talked to him, and this is why initially I wanted to speak to you, this question right here. He was talking to me about the endorsement deal, and they were the first non-athlete kind of people that were signed to Adidas, and he was telling me things like, we did it because we lived it. We believed it. I'm going to share with you the video. It's crazy how he was talking passionately. And he was saying, we put this song and we were screaming, "My Adidas." And then, someone from kind of, LA office or something, Adidas was like, "What is hip hop? What is this?" And some intern told him, "Yo, guys, this is Run DMC, and they have 16,000 people putting their shoes up and singing "My Adidas." He's like, "What is this? What is?" Go there, like, investigate. And then that conversation led to endorsement, but be true to yourself. Don't change who you are to fit a brand. Where do you stand as Kicks, TQ? Because you're a legend in this game, and I'm sure you have a lot to say about that for people who are upcoming. Don't sell your soul to fit a brand. Yeah, man. Of course, if that design, if that story, if that message, manifesto, vision statement does not touch your own soul, don't even go next to it, man. I feel the same way, man. If a brand came to me and says, "Yo, I'm gonna give you your own shoe, I'm gonna pay you this much money," if I don't like that shoe, I'm just gonna say no, thank you. Now, if Jordan brand came to me and said, "Yo, I'd like to work with you," I mean, that's a dream come true. But I would also like to set my own rules, my own terms. I don't want to sell myself short by designing a shoe that's half-assed. Yeah. So I would love to incorporate my story in there too. But to answer your question, man, absolutely. If it doesn't touch your soul, man, it's not even worth.
I posted something on Instagram to ask you some questions. We've received some questions that I'll ask shortly. Okay, it's interesting you say that. Hip hop started in the Bronx in the early 70s. Obviously now it's worldwide. I know you're a fan of hip hop. I know you're a fan of basketball, but also there's something called the Arab hip hop movement. So the Arab rappers took inspiration from the hip hop, and there's sampling. There's Rap al-Arabi, the Arabic rap, where they perform in Arabic. There's a lot of things right now. Do you think that sneaker and sneaker culture will ever have that? I don't know, we touched upon it, just shortly, but do you think that in what you do as KicksTQ, do you push your culture as Arabic into sneaker culture? If you understand my question, is there fusion?
Yeah, you mean sneaker culture into hip hop, or
sneaker culture, representing sneaker culture, but in an Arabic way?
Oh yeah, man, of course. I try my best, and it just happens naturally. People always talk about, we got to put the region on the map. We got to do that. But how are you actually doing that? If you're going to do that, you need some flavor from your region. So if you see the projects I do, man, I did something recently with Sedu, Sedu embroidery.
Yeah.
Where I put, I put a Kobe shoe on a piece of Sedu, and then I made a basketball hoop in the middle of Su'al Barakia.
Love it.
We hooped, from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. So that's what I want the world to see, man. I want
love that.
I want to merge, I want to merge passions, and then, just to bring music into it. Sons of Yusuf came through.
Of course.
They shot a music video there.
I know, yeah.
I put a Kobe shoe on a piece of Sedu, put that Sedu on a backboard, hooped, and then brought in Sons of Yusuf. So
culture. Bridging cultures.
Man, culture,
yeah.
All one. And so it all really it stemmed from the same thing.
Yeah, see, it's amazing to hear that from you. The question is, your top 5 MCs right now. Go TQ.
Ooh. Number 1?
Without order, if you want. Without order, but just give me 5.
I could do by order. So MCs.
I like. Sorry? MCs.
MCs are just favorite rappers.
MCs.
MCs. Okay. Number 1, without a doubt, man. Greatest of all time, Biggie.
Ooh, really? I love you more now. Okay.
Biggie
Okay.
Untouchable. So number 1. Now, the guy I'm gonna name right now, he's not a top MC. He's not a lyricist. He's not known for his lyrics and as an actual rapper.
Okay.
But he is my favorite artist of all time.
Yes, Yellow.
So Kanye.
Ooh, okay.
Kanye is number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, it's close. So I'm a big Pac fan, especially, I don't know if it was, you grew up in Jeddah, right? In Saudiya. So I'm assuming Pac was big there because in Kuwait, Pac was West Coast. So growing up in high school, it was Pac. So Pac, to me, special place in my heart. So Pac would be number 3.
Nice.
People always, they ask me Biggie or Pac. I always say, I wanted to be Pac, but I wanted to rap like Biggie.
Bam. That's how I feel too. You're right. Yeah.
Pac was a revolutionary. What? He was the.
Of course, poet, revolutionary, said, a philosopher. Biggest flow is unmatched, though. You're right. Number 4.
Yeah, all right, number 4. I would have to go with Jay, man, with Ho.
Wow.
With Jay-Z. Yeah, I would. I mean, his consistency, Reasonable Doubt, for me was I listened to that joint and I still think this was 1996.
That's true. Yeah, ahead of his time, of course. Yeah. Number 5. I'm still waiting for one name from me Number 5.
Number 5. Okay, so I said Big, Ye, Pac, Hov.
The 5th one is always the hardest. What was the hardest?
Fifth was the hardest. I was actually listening to Godson yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I was listening to Godson yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Now I wouldn't confirm him as number 5, but as you said, it's tough. So
it is. Look, I think if I ask you this question next week, I think I also feel like a name or two would be different. It's a crazy question, but yeah, man, we all love hip hop. I salute you. I salute your passion and what you're trying to do. A couple more questions before we go to the obviously viewers' questions. Can we say that the growth of sneaker culture, and I know the answer to this one, is connected to the growth of hip hop? Like, is it 100% yes?
Yeah. I mean,
no doubt.
Man. I mean, kids these days, they want to look. They don't want to look like rock stars. They don't look like rap stars.
Yeah.
And rappers these days, the rappers want to look like the athletes, and the athletes are laced in sneakers, and it's so definitely, man, 100%.
You've done a lot of work, man, and one of the things I appreciate about you is, like you said, your consistency, the way you're doing it, the integrity that you're doing. You have this, we have this thing called, oh, you're verified on Instagram, you do this, and you kind of spoke your mind about it. And I remember that kind of really blew up. I had people messaging me and sending me, yo, check what this guy's saying. How come you're not verified yet? Like, what's the story there?
So, man, like, Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Love-hate relationship, man. Like, I love the app because, I mean, if it wasn't for the app, you and I would never know each other.
No, yeah.
Be, chopping it up. I would not have met I would not have like worked with Nike. So
yeah,
I appreciate the app so much, man.
Yeah.
I love it in so many ways. Now, in 2016, Zuckerberg and our friends at Facebook decided to implement this algorithm. Now, this algorithm, as you probably know, has affected a lot of people, millions of people, and they basically it marginalized this group of users, while another group were not affected. So, from the beginning, man, I had a vision. I had a vision to reach as many people as possible, man. And I'd influence them in how to dress, but I have a bigger message, man. So my vision was to reach a certain amount where I could reach millions instead of thousands. But just like that, Zuckerberg said, yo, if you want to grow, you need to join an engagement group, you need to promote, you need to buy, basically monetize everything, while other people have not been affected. So my beef is, what's the reason?
Yeah.
Why have you marginalized? Why am I in this category? Man, I was growing 6,000-7,000 followers a month. Now I lose 1,000 followers a month.
Wow.
I was averaging close to 7,000-8,000 likes. Now I can't even break like 700.
Yep.
My beef is, give me a reason. What's the reason? Give me an answer. And it's basically taking me in circles. Improve the quality of your content.
Yes.
And I'm not even going to speak on that.
Nah, that's bull, bro. What are you talking about? If KicksTQ doesn't have good content, I don't know. Like, the sky's not blue. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
This is my beef, man. There's no answers. It takes you in circles. So, to go back to your question, my whole thing on Instagram, man, it's love-hate, yeah? So, the love is what we just talked about. The hate is how the ethics of it, how they turn it into a business, how they're just not fair, man. And I got so sucked into like that whole thing. And one of them was the verified issue. So I was sitting with a friend of mine, and he looked at me. He's like,
"Can you see this? Can you read this? It's upside down." So I'm showing TQ right here. So I decided to verify myself, and man, oh man, like it's crazy how you deserve a standing ovation on that one. Yeah, but go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, man. So he asked me the question. He's like, "Yo, why aren't you verified?" And then, like, that question echoed in my head.
Verified.
Yeah. So it kind of like it took over me. So what did I do? I researched the whole thing. Like, how do I do this? And again, the criteria is be a public figure, you know, have multiple articles on you, have a website, work with global brands. So check.
Yes.
No fun, right?
Yeah. Global brand reference, which you did. Official website, press articles, public figure. Yeah, whatever that means. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So I check all the boxes, right? You know, you can apply on the actual app, right?
Yeah.
You can actually request verification on Instagram. So I started to do that. I got turned to work at Facebook. So I hit her up and I said, yo, like, what's going on? She looked into it, and throughout the whole thing, man, I was just like, okay, let's say I get the check.
What does that mean?
Will I feel validation? Will I be validated? Like, will I be verified in life? Like,
yes.
My friend was asking me, why aren't you verified? I was saying, verified in life or verified on an app?
Of course.
And I realized there's no difference these days, right?
Wow.
So it kind of consumed me, right? It consumed me. So I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna verify myself. So
I love that.
I went to the guy who does all my installations. I said, yo, I want to make a giant verification thing. He's like, how big? I'm like, big, really, really big.
Yeah.
So I did it, man. And like, I posted it, and there was a big misconception, man. A lot of people didn't understand. Like, yo, you don't need to be verified. You don't need it. But that was my whole point. We don't need it.
Yeah.
We don't need to be verified.
Yeah.
And then my next post was me destroying it. And then they're like, oh, shit. Okay, I spoke too soon.
Man, bless. That was. I mean, again, just to be, fair, I get hit up a lot because I don't know. I got verified. I still don't know how I got verified, just to be honest with you. But it just happened. Woke up one day, it was just like that. And then people hit me up, yo, how you get verified? I want to pay this, I want to pay that. I'm like, I don't know. But then a lot of rappers especially want to get verified because there's a lot of accounts that copy their stuff. And that's mainly what they see. But man, that message was just incredible and amazing the way you did it, man. I think if to be honest, bro, if I want to sit here and talk about all the projects that you have done, it kind of, we go back, we're going to be like needing 5-6 hours easy, because you have all the project that you have, there's always a message behind it. There's always something behind it, which is amazing, which is really incredible. And I love the fact that you incorporate a little bit in the Arabic culture in it. There's always something in it, authenticity. And guess what? It's very simple, really like straight. There's no, that says a lot about you, man, as a human being, and a lot of, thoughts. I don't want to take much of your time, man, but just quickly, when do you think sneaker culture went from kind of subculture to mainstream?
Hip hop culture? Or
sneaker culture?
Ooh. I would have to say 2009. Again with Kanye, when he got his own shoe and had people wait in lines for hours and hours and hours. I think a brand like Nike said, yo, okay, something is up. I think we should capitalize on that. So I think around that era when Kanye really created something called hype. Yeah. I think that's when it really went mainstream.
Okay. Again, man.
And of course, it comes down to also China. China had the ability to mass produce. So when brands realized how much they can produce a year, that played a big role in it.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Quick questions from from some of the people that in a span of an hour sent a few questions. Ammar sent in, why do you cover your face? Again, okay, so that's
I get that question a lot. I'm just a private dude, man. I like to keep it private. I don't like showing my identity. I don't really like attention that much. I mean, I do love people, but I'd rather just like keep to myself, keep it private. So,
yeah. Okay. Also, Sosan here is asking, how did you move from sneaker to fashion? I think we answered that, but how did you go from a sneaker kind of how did you merge into fashion?
Yeah, I mean, it came down to like, how am I gonna match these sneakers with a dope outfit? So it started with that. Man, I have to go back and credit Kanye as well.
Wow.
Like,
so Kanye, it's crazy, monumental in your career.
Kanye. Yeah, he's just like, this guy's inspired me so much.
You ever met him?
I met him by accident, man. I met him in 2010 in Abu Dhabi. He performed at the F1.
Yeah.
He performed the F1. I was in the Emirates Palace. I was walking, and I heard a voice. I heard this voice. I was like, whoa. So I look behind me, and it's Kanye walking with like a bodyguard and like a friend of his. And it was back in the days when we had Blackberries, right? With the shitty camera.
Oh,
like,
man.
So I was with a friend, and like, he pulled up. I'm like, I couldn't even speak. So my friend, she's like, yo, Kanye. And so I met him. He was cool, He's
wow,
like,
really? What did you guys talk about? Like, was it hip hop, sneakers, or nothing? Or like, what was it?
It was very brief.
Yeah.
He was just like, where are you guys from? I was like, yo, I had to say, I've seen Kanye maybe 30 times in concert.
Wow.
This is
what?
Like my vacation days.
Wow.
They revolve around his tours. That's how much I love Kanye.
Wow.
So to answer that question, he was the first guy to mix luxury with streetwear. So he would mix Dior with Jordans. He would mix, YSL, Yves Saint Laurent with Adidas. He was. So once I saw that, I got really into like, luxury brands.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Chris here is asking, in what ways you feel you push sneaker culture in the Middle East? Oh, wow. Shout out to Chris. But man, if you follow the guy, I'm telling you, he pushed it a lot. But if you would want to answer that question, and again, I'm not saying, we all won. I know that it's important for a human being to have things told to him. But if you want to answer this question right here on Buckle Up, what would it be? In what ways have you, as KicksTQ, pushed the sneaker culture in the Middle East?
I think what I've mainly done, man, I've created awareness for certain brands that you wouldn't be able to find in your malls anymore. I've brought brands like Off-White and Fear of God, and all of these brands no one heard of.
No.
I was able to like create awareness, be like, yo, this is a dope brand. Even like brands like Supreme, like people have never heard of any of those brands before they tuned into the account. So just the awareness of brands that I personally love, I think that would, that's probably how I push the whole streetwear thing the most. Man,
yeah. I want you guys to definitely check out KicksTQ.com. There's a lot of things over there, and his Instagram. Okay, this is from Sandy. He's saying, how is the movement going in Kuwait? Do you see the culture popping in Kuwait?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's definitely growing. I mean, every year, those lines outside of sneaker stores get longer and longer and longer. So obviously, the culture is growing. But it's kind of divided, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, it's divided in all countries and all cities. It's like, it's the resellers, their culture, and then it's the sneakerheads who love the culture. It's like, I don't knock any hustles, man. Like the business side, the resellers, and then there's the actual sneaker.
Is there a big gap between both?
Yeah. I mean, like, if in Kuwait, I wouldn't call it a big gap. It's just that there's a big difference between the styles. I mean, we all like the same thing. It all comes down to that, but the visions are different for sure.
Okay. I think we're done. I think I took much more than my time that I told you, but I just want to show you a sneaker that actually Nike for the first time just last sold. I got offered something because my size is 49.5. This is a big problem with brands, and there's no like I don't know sizes, and I'm like, how do people play basketball? Like Shaq's size is 56. Come on, you guys, hook a brother up. Anyway, I want to show you what they gave me, and I want you to tell me what it means to you. So I'm gonna be right back. Yeah. We're doing this, guys. Let's go. Okay, cool. All right. I went to got a shoe, and this is it. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Oh, the Bread 11s.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, those are so good.
The dirty, I know about, yeah. Man, when I wear these, and again, I just want to say, there's a certain... So I was in the Nike installation when that happened, and all of a sudden the guys were like, "Yo, here you go." I'm like, "What is this?" Like, yeah, and I emceed, Ray Allen. He was there, and I was like, you gotta do this. Like, what? And I felt so appreciated, man. And I was like, "Yo," and a lot of rappers started coming in, and you're like, "Yo, Haas, oh my God, oh, what's happening?" Because I never really wear fresh shoes, never really, I don't because. Yeah, I understand what it means, to you guys, and I understand the whole, I started blog of Revolt in 2008, and then Leish Hip Hop, which is Saudi's first and only FM hip hop radio show in 2011. I'm a big advocate of the Arab hip hop movement, but also in Arabia, we're missing that it's a culture, it's a fashion, it's a whole, vibe. There's this picture I'm looking at right now. It's you, and behind you there's a Biggie kind of mural. Beautiful. Where was that?
That was in Brooklyn. That was
Brooklyn.
In Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
I went to New York, and I said, I'm not leaving New York until I go to that corner where he freestyled at 16 years old.
Yeah.
Outside of Bodega. And I know a friend who was in Brooklyn, and we went out there, we did a video. I was so excited, man. It's a funny story. I was so excited to be out there. The sun started to go down. And then that's when I realized, I'm like, yo, we need to go. We need to leave this neighborhood.
Yeah, man. Bless.
Yeah, that was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, what about your shop, man? Like, like when you go to, I know you have a lot of, initiatives that you need to make on 3XL and 4XL. I'm just saying, bro, I love your shit, man. Please. I'm telling you, bro, I love it. I just don't, I'm like, I need, like these guys at Joe Bedu, for example, from Jordan, I told them, guys, please make 4XL, and they started making, so I'm wearing them, I can push it, bro. I'm just saying, please, man, because some of the designs.
The no skill set ones? The no skill set? Or okay.
I love that one, man. And again, so which brings me to my last question. How do you come up with these initiatives, slash designs, how? Because, man, again, that's pushing really, and they're so fresh, they're so dope. And do you think you're getting support and appreciated when you push this things to the public?
Yeah, I mean, these designs always, they come from a personal story, from an actual concept that's part of my life. So, for example, no skill set.
Look at that.
No skill set is my life, man. That's what I'm about. Like, no skill set is, like I'm here right now. I've done all of those things on Instagram, and I technically do not have a skill. I'm not a photographer. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a designer. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a stylist.
So
I never studied music, nothing.
What are you?
I'm a storyteller. I'm a creator, maybe a bit of a visionary. But am I really skilled? I can't really say that I am, man.
Who takes your photographs? Different people. I know.
Like these group of really dedicated, passionate, talented, young creatives, man. These kids like came up with me. They helped me create 90% of what's on my feed.
Really? Wow.
If it wasn't for them, I would not be in the place that I am. I plugged them. They helped me plug them. Yeah, man, like they are my skill. They're my soldiers, man. They're
amazing.
My assassins.
Man, I think this was really interesting to me personally, like I said, because I'm a big fan. And again, I didn't want to even go into too much details, and we still went because I still want to do that, the part 2 with you when I see you. But I think I will leave you with this, man. Does it get crazy with all these brands? Like just me and you talking right now. Imagine no one is listening. Does it get crazy because all the brands maybe want to work with you? They, you have a certain, of course, influence to the region, and every brand want to see. Do you sometimes look to yourself like, I need to slow down, or no? Like, how do you mentally? What goes on with everything that you go through?
So, I've been doing this for 5 years, and the first 3 years, I would kind of be at the mercy of these brands. I'd be like, oh, it's Nike, oh, it's Puma, oh, they're always right, all this. I will always appreciate these brands. If it wasn't for these brands, there would be no KicksTQ. I would not have been able to go to Paris and see Michael Jordan. I would not have been able to do all of this stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got jealous of that one. I know. I think Sheb Moha was there as well, and Shindy was it? Was there. Yeah. So how was that moment, man? Like seriously, what? I'm like watching the video like that. Yo, that's MJ. Like the great what? He just walked by. Wallahi, man.
It was. A lot of people there, I don't think they realized how important that was, like how blessed they were to be there. For me, again, this guy, I idolized the guy. It was crazy. It was beautiful. That's these brands. So it does get, crazy in a different way in 2020. Crazy with brands in 2020 is different, and crazy with brands for me in 2018. I have a lot of ideas, man. I have a vision. I have a lot of message I want to, tell the world through great brands, But I realized, man, like, it's a business, man. Like, it really
industry
is
business. Yeah.
It's a monetary world. So, I don't know how people are gonna take this, because I'm eventually I would like to make this a concept. It's called BTB, which is beyond the brands. We don't. I don't like right now. Right now, it's way beyond the brands for me, man. It's.
I agree with that. I see that. That's what I truly believe in that too, man. Wow. Okay. That's.
Yeah. For example, like, if I want to put a basketball hoop on a bulldozer in the middle of the desert, or if I want to put a basketball hoop on an oil pump, I'm not gonna wait for a brand to help me do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna promote it. If I want to do that, I'm gonna do that. If you want to hop on board, cool. If not, scroll down. You know what I mean?
Wow, man. Yo, man, I want to work with you, man, in the future, whatever it is. If you find me fit in any of your ideas, bro, even if you need like a guy who wears bandana, just, acting like Shaq in the background, like whatever it is, man. Blessings to you, bro. Can you tell us and the people who are listening right now, what's something that you've been, you're going to work on? What's coming up in this really crazy, weird times right now? Are you going to, are you working on something now? What's next in the next at least 3 months?
Yeah, man. Honestly, a lot of my ideas, a lot of my content now are going to be driven towards what the world is going through, man. 2020 so far has been crazy, man. Like between the
Kobe,
almost nuclear
R.I.P.
Kobe, rest in peace. Now this, a recession coming up, like it's been nuts. But like my content puts that, what I'm planning to do, it's, I want to shed light on that. I also want to remind people there really is a silver lining in all of this, man. There really are blessings everywhere, man. Like, I don't remember the last time, man, I spent so much time with my family. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, tea, coffee, niece, nephew, sister. I don't remember the last time I felt so much unconditional love, man. And that's all because of this freaking virus, man. So I want people to appreciate it in that way. I want people to say, okay, virus, F you, but also thank you. And moving forward, we have to do things different.
That's crazy. We're just finishing the whole thing, but we just got another a question from Frost A. Do you ever get political in your artwork? I mean, not in artwork in this case, in your messages.
Yeah, man. I mean, people always ask me, what's the vision? You always talk about vision. I always tell them, man, my vision is free Palestine. Now, when I say free Palestine isn't actually free Palestine. My vision, free Palestine, is what? It's to conquer social injustice. Free Palestine is freeing the people in South America, in Asia, and Africa. And this is my vision, man.
Wow.
Yes, you have to get political to make a difference.
You come here. Yeah, trying to quickly. My son came in. Ahmed, this is TQ right here. Yeah,
Hi,
TQ. Thought it. So for you guys watching or listening, my son is autistic. He's 9. He's my hero, and he is somebody I love, man. But what you said at the end, man, is really beautiful. And I think, this is kind of my call to also end this. But man, listen, blessings to you, brother. Sarahatan, you're one of my inspiration. I say that. I told you this before. I really get inspired by what you do. I'm serious, bro. I'm not just telling you this. I watch what you do, and there's a lot of things that you do. But subhanAllah, because you do a lot, I don't think people get caught up. Like just before you right now, I was talking to a guy called Qusay. He's a rapper in Saudi. And also he's done a lot, but it seems that somehow because you do a lot, people expect always a lot, and they somehow forget you, and they get used to you do a lot of things. And then They don't understand that we need to thank these guys and appreciate them. So I will leave with this. Do you feel appreciated by your people, by your followers?
By my real followers, I really do. They tune in, and they know me by now. I'm already thinking 4 projects ahead. Like a lot of people work their whole lives and they put something out. They're like, oh yeah, I did. I can't do that, man.
Yeah.
I'm not complacent.
You're not.
I guess people, a lot of my content, people just don't, it's beyond them. Like they don't understand it. So
it's, man, one day I just want to go inside your mind, and today was a small attempt, and as you can see, we touched on things kida shwaya on the surface, because buckle up in the car. Obviously, like this, it's very simple for you to kind of, shut down the camera and go. In the car, we're in the highway. We're not going anywhere when I ask you questions, But blessings, man. Anything you'd like to say at the end? And again, thank you so much for being actually the first guest on Buckle Up Limited Edition. And then not limited edition, lockdown edition. What would your, message at the end be?
Message at the end, man. We're in 2020. I feel like God has said, yo, you guys need to go to your rooms and consider a lot of things. And coming out of this whole craziness, man, we need to really make a change, a positive change, and let's try and do it through creativity. Let's try and do it through art. This is very cliche, but honestly, anything is possible, man. Just stay passionate. Follow your intuition.
Do you think we're gonna go back to normal? I don't personally think so, but do you think normal is gonna be normal?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's not gonna drastically change, but I mean, there's definitely gonna be in all industries and business and social ways, but yeah.
Blessings, man.
That's it, man.
That's it, you guys. Please say your social media handle, because we're gonna put it right here. I know it's, but I want you to say it. That's the whole, thing. That's the theme. Say your social media handle.
KicksTQ. I KicksTQ right here.
That's it. It's gonna be somewhere here. We're gonna play with it. Yeah. Love you, man.
I just want to say something to you, man.
Go.
I don't think you understand what you've been doing to the culture, bro. The amount of awareness you've created, the people who come up because of you. You've really, really opened a lot of eyes, man, on hip hop, on art, and coming from one fan to another. Thank you, and please keep doing what you do, bro.
Fist bump right here, man, using Zoom. I don't know how that works. Okay, fist bump. Thank you so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow, like, and subscribe, and peace and love. This was the first, obviously this is going to be available on podcast, and you can maybe also see it on YouTube. Peace and love, guys. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salam TQ.
Peace.